A reading from the second book of Kings. Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, occupied the whole land and attacked Samaria, which he besieged for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and deported the Israelites to Assyria, setting them in Halah at the Habor, a river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. This came about because the Israelites sinned against the Lord, their God, who had brought them up from the land of Egypt, from under the domination of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and because they venerated other gods. They followed the rites of the nations whom the Lord had cleared out of the way of the Israelites and the kings of Israel whom they set up. And though the Lord warned Israel and Judah by every prophet and seer, "Give up your evil ways and keep my commandments and statutes in accordance with the entire law which I enjoined on your fathers and which I sent you by my servants, the prophets." They did not listen, but were as stiff-necked as their fathers, who had not believed in the Lord, their God. They rejected his statutes, the covenant which he had made with their fathers, and the warnings which he had given them, till in his great anger against Israel, the Lord put them away out of his sight. Only the tribe of Judah was left. Let our response be, "Help us with your right hand, O Lord, and answer us." Together, "Help us with your right hand, O Lord, and answer us." O God, you have rejected us and broken our defenses. You have been angry. Rally us. Response, "Help us with your right hand, O Lord, and answer us." You have rocked the country and split it open. Repair the cracks in it, for it is tottering. You have made your people feel hardships. You have given us stupefying wine. Response, "Help us with your right hand, O Lord, and answer us." Have not you, O God, rejected us, so that you go not forth, O God, with our armies? Give us aid against the foe, for worthless is the help of men. Response, "Help us with your right hand, O Lord, and answer us."
Jesus said to his disciples, "If you want to avoid judgment, stop passing judgment. Your verdict on others will be the verdict passed on you. The measure with which you measure will be used to measure you. Why look at the speck in your brother's eye when you miss the plank in your own? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' while all the time the plank remains in your own? You hypocrite! Remove the plank from your own eye first, then you will see clearly to take the speck from your brother's eye." Help us with your right hand, O Lord, and answer us. And this is a very appropriate time to reflect seriously on today's responsorial psalm, taken from the book of Psalms, chapter 60, verses 3 to 5, and verses 12 and 13. Lord, help us with your right hand and answer us. Especially so, my dear friends, that in today's gospel message, taken from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 1 to 5, our Lord Jesus reminds us, do not judge others until that you yourselves will be judged. Judge not other people, and nobody will pass judgment on you. My dear friends, sisters and brothers, it is said, if we live close to one another, it is very normal and natural to begin to notice the other person's faults, weaknesses, or failures. Such being the case that living so closely to one another, we cannot help but begin to notice what we call the faults and weaknesses of people. Such being the case, then there is a great need of what we call for brotherly love. Of course, Jesus does not discount the occasional need for what we call correction. But what is especially necessary, my dear friends, is what we call brotherly love. And what does Jesus mean when he talks about the plank in your eye, as mentioned in the gospel of today? Is it not the lack of love on the heart of the other person, criticizing his neighbor's faults and failures and shortcomings? Is it not the lack of love on the heart of you and of me and of all of us the moment we criticize another people's faults or failures? And have we ever realized also, my dear friends, that our own critical attitude towards the fault and the weakness of other people is actually much worse than the actual fault or weakness that we criticize people on? Again, my dear friends, in this case, love is necessary. We have to look into the good of the heart of the other person we are criticizing. In other words, let us concentrate especially on this area. And today's gospel reading of Matthew 7 verses 1 to 5 invites us to ask ourselves, how prone are we to make rash judgment on other people? And the same gospel reading of Matthew 7 verses 1 to 5 invites us to pray, Lord, help us to realize that it is better to be set up occasionally by someone than to misjudge one innocent person.